The New York Knicks, um, team that has a lot of history, if you want to say that. A team that's looked at as one of the marquee franchises in NBA history. Blah blah blah, yada yada yada. They put them up there with the Boston Celtics and the LA Lakers as historic franchises. But honestly, if you look at it, the New York Knicks are the most overrated franchise in the NBA, period. Might be the most overrated franchise in sports history because the New York Knicks have really not come through and accomplished much of anything at all. Um, you look at the title history, they've won two titles in their long history. They won one in 1970 and they won one in 1973. That was what, 43 years ago? They haven't won a title in 43 years. The last time they've been to the finals was in 1994 with Patrick Ewing. There are so many other teams who've accomplished so much more. Honestly, if you really want to be serious, I think the New York Knicks need to be bumped out of the conversation as a marquee franchises. And if you're going to speak on it, you might as well just include the Boston Celtics, Boston Celtics, LA Lakers, and the Chicago Bulls. As much as I hate to say it because I'm a Cleveland fan, the Chicago Bulls have accomplished a lot more than the New York Knicks, albeit their last championship being in, 98. But six championships versus two is a long time. I mean, it's a big difference. Um, Honestly, shoot, if you look at it like this, the Cleveland Cavaliers, founded in 1970, they have won half the titles that New York has won since their inception in like the 50s. And I feel, and that's crazy, but I feel like the New York Knicks, they really have all of this glamour and glitz and this illustrious look sometimes based off the location. New York City, the Mecca, the Big Apple, whatever you want to call it, the huge, it's the largest market in the United States, one of the largest, if not the largest market in the world, highest population in the United States. Everybody goes there. New York City is the place to be, quote unquote, if you want to make it out here. If you put the New York Knicks in any other city, I really do feel like they would be irrelevant. They would be looked at as like what a Denver Nuggets, even a Cleveland Cavaliers team or something like that. A team that skates by. They are good sometimes, bad a lot. Not a whole bunch of history there. Um, so I feel like the location really plays too big of a role in how much the New York Knicks are praised. They really haven't earned the praise that they get. I think that the franchise is overblown. I feel like they haven't earned their spot on NBA's Mount Rushmore. Um, I think people need to take a step back and realize that they haven't done anything to earn our praise. The last the last big player that they have had, really honest, if you think about it, besides Carmelo, was Patrick Ewing. Um, in the 90s. And for a franchise to be based in such a large market, to have such a void of big name players, it's kind of crazy. And it shows that the franchise isn't as much of a draw to people as people would make it seem. You always see, oh, this player can go to the Knicks, this player can go to the Knicks, blah blah blah, but they never go. The only reason Carmelo really went to the Knicks is because he he grew up in New York, where he had a history of being in New York or from New York or whatever like that. So he had that attachment. Outside of that, there was really no reason for him to go. I mean, you can count on Murray Stoudemire as another player that was was a good player. He before his injury, he was a pretty good player, but he wasn't a draw. He wasn't a LeBron or he wasn't a KD. He wasn't a D Wade, anything like that. He was a great player, a good to great player who signed with the Knicks. He wasn't a put him on a marquee. Here's who we have come to our game type of player. It's just that I feel like that big void of players over time just solidifies my point about how the New York Knicks really are an overrated franchise. The last time that the New York Knicks won a title, the Black Panthers were still roaming the streets. The segregation had just ended. That's the last time they won. Segregation was only over for 5 years by the time the New York Knicks won a title. That's terrible. And honestly, if you want to be real, you could make the argument that the only reason they made the finals was because Michael Jordan had took a break. If Michael Jordan hadn't taken that break, then shoot, you might not have seen the finals in the '90s from the New York Knicks. And now we all know, like I said, we all know the result. They lost to the Houston Rockets. I just feel like overall they haven't earned their keep. Shoot, if the Cavs, since I'm a Cleveland fan, if the Cavs win a title next season or the season after that and end up having two titles total, are we gonna put them up there with the New York Knicks? Obviously, the city name isn't a big draw, but if you're just going off accomplishments, you can't scoff at that argument because numbers are numbers, and facts are facts. So I feel like people really need to take a step back and look at it because there are a lot of teams that won two or more titles. So why don't they get the same treatment? The New York Knicks organization is just living off their location, really. The biggest draw to the New York Knicks is seeing what Spike Lee will be wearing on the court. Seriously. Carmelo Anthony has seen better years. Porzingis is good, but not a draw. It's like, why should I care about this organization? I really don't have much of a reason to care about the organization. In all seriousness. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I spoke too soon. The last time they made it, went to the championship was in '99. I'm sorry. I was 70 years old. They haven't made a championship in the 21st century. But I don't know. I feel like I said, the New York Knicks literally are the most overrated franchise. Don't agree? Holla at me. You can hit me up on Twitter and disagree with me. My Twitter name is @myphoneisdead. @myphoneisdead. Let me know. I wanna hear what people have to say. But that's all I got. Like, share, comment, subscribe, complain, do whatever. All right, I'm out.